Malignant. Oh, Malignant. Let's talk about this. This caught me by surprise. So I saw the trailers for Malignant, and those people on the channel will know this. I said, God damn, this looks generic and bland and boring and crap. I was definitely wrong, as I always do here on this channel. When I am wrong, you know, I review the trailer. The trailer made this out to be hugely generic, and I don't think they've sold it right on the trailers at all, in fact, because I think, well, they just haven't. They've not done a very good job of advertising this. It definitely looks generic from the trailers, but it's really not. I was wrong in thinking the movie would have been generic. So if you've watched those trailers and gone, oh, this is crap, watch the movie. You'll actually really like it. I tweeted it out saying I've got a screener of it. Balls to the wall, god damn, this is great, that sort of thing. And it really is, it's balls to the wall. The best way to sort of describe this movie is it's a throwback. Like, it's a throwback to an 80s or like a 70s or an 80s horror movie. They do such a good job with this film. There are absolutely horror tropes throughout this film, and it's not your, it's not trying to reinvent the wheel, right? You're not looking at the horror tropes and going, oh, these are brand new. Like, they are horror tropes. Oh, something comes out of this room, and oh, something comes out of that room, and oh, she turns, and oh, there's someone there. But it's a very well put together homage for like 70s and 80s movies. And because of that, it does feel fresh. So let's discuss it. We have Madison, woman here, who basically starts seeing visions of murder by Gabriel. Gabriel, as per the trailers, he's the devil. That's what they call him anyway. That's what she called him. And we're thrown into this sort of cat and mouse game of, she starts to see people murder, she goes to the cops, who is it, what's going on, how are they linked, what's happening, and then it just goes mental. It goes balls to the wall, mental, but in the best possible way. And the thing about this movie is that, like, a load of people are like, oh, James Wan's back. He didn't write this movie. Akilah Cooper wrote this movie. James Wan just directed it. So when, obviously he would have found the script and approved it and things like that, but it's not his story. It's not his script. So James Wan's definitely not back. But the writer, Akilah Cooper, did a really good job with this. So they did the screenplay, and then the story was done by, just as an FYI, just for clarity's sake, James Wan does have story credits, but the screenplay is completely polished off by this Akilah person. But they did a really good job in setting up quite a heavy amount of humour running through this film, which allows you to accept the balls to the wall nature in a better way, because they didn't play the movie straight. If they played this movie completely straight, you'd get to the end and you just go, fuck, this is crap. Right? You'd think it's been too serious. Why are you expecting me to now believe this? Whereas because they didn't play it completely straight and they allowed you to have these sort of jokes peppered through and this sort of series of disbelief, that's when you can go right at the end. You go, this is great. This works, and it does ask you to believe some absolute bonkers crap. But that's where we have that homage to the 70s and 80s. So there's not an awful lot that I can really discuss in spoilers. Gabriel's design is great. I did actually quite like it. And I thought that would have been ultra generic as well from looking at the trailer. I'm like, oh, they just hired some super skinny thin man to walk around upside down and stuff like this. And I was like, that's crap. But they didn't. And that's where that sort of generic, I don't know, current movies isn't in this film, because they explain it in a really good way. The design of Gabriel was interesting, quite compelling. Still super dumb, but still super cool. Yes, good fun. The effects were fine. It's not so much the effects that you rely on in this film, and it's not scary. It's not a scary movie. So, like, how can I review this film in terms of it being a horror film? Like, I guess it's about as scary as yeah, I mean, like a 70s or 80s horror movie. You know, those films generally, like, you watch them now, you're not going to be scared of them. And just in the same way, this film's not massively scary, right? There are some, like, ooh, what's going on here? Ooh, what's going on there? But it's not a scary movie. It's not a scary horror movie. Everyone does a really good job. Annabelle Wallis is who plays Madison. She did a pretty bang-up job, to be fair. And also, McKenna Grace plays the young Madison. She's been in a lot of stuff now. I believe she was even in Captain Marvel, if I remember rightly. She's been in a lot of stuff, and she was good. She was good. One of the standouts was actually George Young, who played a cop. He was really decent in this, and I'd like to see him in more stuff. The cinematography was fine. It all looked good. In fact, there's one or two shots that I thought were actually really, really well composed. And again, that is James Wan shining through finally again. There's one shot in particular at the start of the movie where Madison goes up against the door, slides down, and the framing's just so perfect. You see the door, you see Madison, you see blood, and then you see just in the corner, framed very, very nicely, a window, a circular window with moonlight coming through. And it's just a very nice shot. It all looks perfect. Looks great. And that framing was great. And there is some good framing throughout this movie. The cinematography, they did well with the cinematography. I'm going to have to talk spoilers. Go out and watch it. If you like 70s and 80s horror movies and you want a throwback to them, go watch this. I'm going to have to talk spoilers. So there you go, there's your review. Go watch it. It's good. The music was decent as well. It's not generic. It's not generic by any stretch of the imagination. It's not breaking new ground either, remember. Like, it's a 70s and 80s homage. But let's talk spoilers. Oh, dear. So I was kind of right when I watched that first trailer, and I was like, Malignant. I bet Gabriel's going to be some, like, tumour or something like that. Or, like, a malignant twin or something like that. Well, he is, but he's also not. Oh, my God. So Gabriel... Oh, Jesus wept. Gabriel is literally Madison's conjoined parasitic cancerous twin. That is, I kid you not, cut out, sort of, cut the body off, and then they shove his head, they shove his face inside Madison's skull. And what happens is, at the start of the movie, I can't believe it. It's funny, but it's so good at the same time. At the start of the movie, Madison gets pushed around by her husband, and she bangs her head against the wall, and that wakes Gabriel up. And he literally, I kid you not, he literally comes out of her skull. Comes out, like the skull opens up like a little shell, and he's like a shellfish. He just comes out, and he takes over her body. And, for fuck's sake, wears a trench coat, and he's running all sort of backwards and stuff. Oh, it's so weird. It was really well done, though, because, again, they set up so many jokes throughout this movie that when they reveal that, you just go, oh, yeah, of course, like, fine. Like, sure, why not? You're accepting of it by that point. It was fine. Oh, I really liked it. I thought it was such dumb fun. Such dumb fun. And the effects that Gabriel's face looked super messed up. The reasoning behind it was interesting. They didn't really explain too much, you know, about how he has so much power, how Madison has so much strength and power, how they can control lights and electricity, and how, you know, how Gabriel can talk through things. They didn't explain any of that. Which I don't think they particularly needed to. But yeah, like the twist was fun. It's just it is a fun, dumb horror movie. If you're expecting some serious horror from James Wan, maybe it was supposed to be horror. Maybe it was supposed to be serious. I can't imagine this was supposed to be serious. This is a good, dumb, fun horror movie. A good homage to the 70s and 80s. I would genuinely go watch it. If you stayed this long and you didn't want this and you wanted the spoilers. Yeah, I'd 100% recommend this film. It was fucking hilarious, but in the best possible way. If you've seen it, let me know what you think down below. I think it's going to land for a lot of people, and a lot of people are going to hate it. Like, seriously going to hate it. But I was all in, because they just set up so much funny jokes. Especially when the cop was like, so you want us to believe that the murderer is your imaginary friend? And I'm just like, gold. Absolutely brilliant. Anyway, let me know what you think down below. If you're new here, do hit subscribe. Cheers, guys. Take care.